Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. A couple of shells and washed-up plastic are common finds on the shore. However, sometimes the most unthinkable can be discovered. Here are some incidents where people found some unbelievable things and creatures in the ocean. Number 1. One-eyed shark. It's quite normal for fishermen to catch pregnant sharks. However, what was caught this day was more than the normal shark with babies inside. After ripping the big shark's body apart, they found a mini shark inside. But there was something very strange about it. It had a single eye. As creepy as it may look, this is actually a rare condition known as cyclopia, and it only happens once in a blue moon. I know you may be waiting for some plot twist where this little guy grew legs, turned green, and is now White Wazowski, but dude, not today. And there is a narrow 1 out of a 3 billion chance that someone finds one like it anymore. For some reason, I would have liked to see it mature and see what happened after that. It seems like this little fella's story was doomed not to end well right from conception. Don't you agree? Number 2. Tsunami Creature. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the magnitude of earthquakes and tsunamis in Japan. They're some of the worst in the world and usually cause a lot of destruction of property. Apparently, even affecting the marine ecosystem as much as it affects other ecosystems. This weird, round, and rock-like creature was found washed up on a beach just a few moments after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit the place. To be fair, it looks very scary, and one couldn't tell if it even had eyes or a mouth that could bite if messed around with. I give it to this woman who taps it with her foot to see if it's alive. That's so badass. I mean, that thing could be like hiding 1,000 teeth in there somewhere. And getting your foot that close to it would be the worst idea by far, but you never know. I guess she's alright and nothing happened to her, but I'm sure she would have known. It still remains to be called the Tsunami Creature to date. Number 3. Mysterious Creature. In Sydney, Australia, a small creature with human-like lips was discovered washed up on the shore. The curious guys who found it were puzzled for some time as they recorded their own discovery. You can imagine what was going on inside their minds at the time. One of them even decided to check out what Google's opinion was about this mystery. And here's what Google had to say. It might be a horn shark. Well, I guess we might never know the identity of this odd-looking creature at all. And all we're left doing is guessing. My guess would probably be that it came from somewhere in SpongeBob's world. I mean, anything could exist there, don't you agree? What's your best guess? Let us know in the comment section below. Number 4. Rare fish. Although the unknown might be harmless, it could turn out to be very disturbing and terrifying to the average human being. The ideal scenario would be for this woman to be jogging along the beach and then discover something she's never seen before in her life. It turns out to be the carcass of an apparently rare fish that existed millions of years ago. The fish looked somewhat like a Komodo dragon and had scales all over it, not forgetting its huge size and unique body structure. From another perspective, one might describe it as an amazingly beautiful sea creature to look at. Nobody really knows how it would have behaved in contact with humans if it were alive. Let's hope for another of these types of discoveries soon, one that's actually alive so the scientists can study it. It seems like quite an interesting type of fish and would make a good meal if consumable because of its huge size. We wouldn't have to worry about proteins for a couple of weeks with this one, but that's just between you and I. Number 5. Sea Monster. After this jaw-dropping discovery, some people question whether they discovered the remnants of an ancient creature after this massive sea animal carcass washed up on a local beach. A group of quad bikers were the ones who found the carcasses on the beach about 5 kilometers east of Pukehina Beach. The animal's physical parts, including its jaw and teeth, were still intact, but most of its body had withered away. Still, no one was able to identify this creature because it was already decomposing. What took everyone by surprise was its body size, not forgetting how sharp and terrifying those teeth are on quite huge jaws. To be honest, it looks like some huge, ferocious beast of the sea that we wouldn't want to mess with. Number 6. The Bloated Well. It's not every day that you get to see a whale on your normal beach walk. Well, here's one, and it's quite unusual itself. With its extremely swollen body, you might think that perhaps it had swallowed something really big, but it's just bloated and full of gas. A man noticed this massive creature floating from afar and actually thought it was a rock until he got closer. After informing the local authorities, some marine scientists took up the case and performed an autopsy to determine what caused this whale's demise by filling it up with gas inside. I just hope it wouldn't be something harmful to humans, because it must have been something very toxic to put down such a huge beast in the first place. Number 7. Stranded pilot whales. Imagine going for your daily morning run on the beach and finding it very crowded, not by people as you might expect, but in this case, by whales. That sounds like a joke from a sci-fi movie, but it actually happened on Tasmania's west coast near Stratham. A lot of questions have been raised concerning this unnatural occurrence, and many are left to wonder why over 230 pilot whales would be stranded at a beach all at once. Could they have been running away from something or towards something in this case? Either way, their move to get to the shore was probably their worst decision ever, since out of those 230 whales, only about 30 of them or less survived despite the intervention of local marine experts to keep them alive and pull some into deep waters. The beach wasn't the same after this, trust me. Number 8. 300 whales. This is sending chills down our spines. This is after nearly 300 whales were stranded on the coast, all of them lifeless. It must have been a horrifying scene for those who were there to see it up close. Can you imagine dozens of lifeless bodies lying around as if they didn't exist the day before? That's very sad. Scientists collected water samples from that area to perform tests in an effort to understand the cause behind the mass death of the largest mammal in the ocean. However, they ruled out the ability of humans causing this. Although there's no clear explanation yet, it's believed that it may have been a deadly virus in the water that caused it all. Number 9. Mystery of the mobula rays. On February 28, 2013, about 220 mobula ray fish mysteriously washed up on the beach in Gaza City. According to local video reports that purported to show fishermen inspecting the rays for the fish market, it was the first time the fish had been seen on the beach in 6 years. The fish, which belong to the same family as the more well-known manta rays, are similar in appearance and can grow as wide as 17 feet. The cause of the massive wash-up is unknown up to now, and that makes this occurrence one of the most mysterious and mind-boggling in this list. These guys ate a lot of fish meat for the entire month, if not the entire week. I just hope the fish wasn't infected with some kind of disease or something, because that would lead to another outbreak or some sort of pandemic. But you know what? Fish don't get diseases like that, so don't worry about it. Number 10. Shark jumps onto the boat. These fishermen on a boat were out in the sea, and the goal of the day was to find at least a kingfisher using bait. I guess it was their lucky day at the same time. Quite an unlucky one for the shark, though, who jumped from the water right into the boat as if it were intentional. All this happened within a few seconds, and the guys on the boat couldn't believe their eyes for many reasons. First, this was a very huge shark, and it was definitely very dangerous too. It's possible that the shark had the intention to attack those on the boat, but it didn't realize by doing that, it was instead getting itself into trouble. I'm sure these guys called it a day after this, because honestly, that's a very big catch. Until next time, adios.